News at 4.
For the first time.
Pretty soon, though, kids are going to be heading back to school, which is clearly a transition time for both parents and their kids.
After the break, we're going to talk to a local doctor about the best ways to ease your children into their new schedule, including advice for parents on making the entire process smooth. We know kids don't want to be reminded, but the first day of school is quickly approaching. So what can parents do to make the transition as easy and as healthy as possible for their kids? Dr. Ari Gilmore from PacMed's Beacon Hill Clinic here with some tips. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
We were just saying a very timely time to be talking about this. Let's start with the first timers. If your child is just starting out in school, what as a parent can you do to kind of make that easy transition for them?
Yeah, there's a couple things that are really basic that can really help them get off to a good start. Probably number one for our younger kids is getting enough sleep. We just can't emphasize how much they need at least 10 hours of sleep every night for those pre-K through second and third graders. That involves getting them to sleep a little early, which cascades into getting dinner done a little early, having a healthy dinner, and then when you send them off to school, making sure there's something substantial in their breakfast.
And maybe even starting that kind of schedule now, knowing that you have a little bit of time to maybe ease them into it.
That's right. You can start a little earlier by getting the bedtimes by 15 minutes to half an hour earlier each day, maybe even getting darkened shades for the rooms so they don't notice that it's still light outside. Tell them it's dark.
That's a very good tip. We'll talk about, though, it's not just for kids that are starting their first year of school. For all kids, I'm sure that they've gotten into this kind of schedule with summer being very free. So how do we do that? With the same thing, kind of just making sure bedtime really is important?
Bedtime's really important. And then some kids actually look forward to the structure of school. And so you have to help support them in doing well during the time at school by not putting too much structure afterwards. One or two activities during the weekdays, making sure they have downtime on the weekends, but also preparing them for the school with homework time on the weekends so they're not struggling at night after a long day at school can really help a kid of any age do well.
I think that's the thing, and maybe you can talk a little bit more about that, because you want, as a parent, after a long day of school, you want them to do their homework on time. You also want them to get outside and be active. So how do you fit it all in? Because sometimes it seems like, how?
It depends a little bit on the age. For the younger kids through 3rd and 4th grade, they usually don't have too much homework. So having them come home, have a quick snack, because they're usually depleted, getting the homework over with quickly, and then allowing them some free time. For the older kids, as the homework builds up, scheduling it during the week, talking to them about it, helping them make a plan so they'll be more adherent to it, and hopefully invested in getting the free time that they want.
You were talking a little bit about nutrition, both with breakfast and with snacks after school, but let's talk about lunches, because that's another thing that parents, I mean, it's hard because you want them to eat healthy, but how can you do that as a parent when you have your own schedule?
Yeah, it is really a struggle, and if anybody's ever volunteered during lunch hour at a school, they'll see what a struggle it really is. The main things to try and approach during lunch for a kid is make it really easy. The thing they want to do is eat as quickly as possible and get back out on the playground, having it be something besides crackers, quick carbs, and no sweetened drinks. So a small sandwich with cheese or a meat and plain water, bottled water. A lot of children won't drink out of the fountains because they think it's gross. So sending them with something like that can be helpful.
The final thing I want to touch on, and I'm sure you know this as a doctor, you put all these kids in one place together and there's germs. So what can you do to make sure that your kid doesn't go back to school and immediately get sick?
Right. All kids are going to get a few illnesses during school, but certainly having a well-care visit with their doctor to make sure their immunizations are up to date. Talking to them about basics such as washing hands, not touching their face too much, and then as soon as they get home, a little hand washing is a good way to go as well.
Well, good. Some tips no matter how old your kids are. That's very good. I know you have a couple of little ones getting ready as well, so thank you for that. Dr. Ari Gilmore from PacMed. We're going to send it back over to Matt now.
Retrain the kids, retrain the parents as well. Thank you. You know, not